15 long.
We've sat here a lot over the years, Max, and talked about the Bryans and how often when you let them get off to a fast start, they can often overrun you very quickly. Is that, from your experience, something that you've noticed with them?
Definitely so. They're probably the best front runners, and they're playing so fast. They don't have to tell each other anything. They know what one is doing, and particularly when they're up, they're very tough to stop. So the key for Rojer and Qureshi would be to just stay head-to-head for as much as they can.
15 on.
Little signs of nerves from Bob.
Another thing that we often highlight, Max, having sat here for 5 years, is just how big this court is, and actually how you can stick a lot of balls back into play, can't you, defensively?
Oh yeah, that's one difference between playing on a small outside court and the center court.
And conditions here this week, you've been in the locker room, you've hit in terms of the speed of the surface and the balls, medium sort of pace?
I didn't get a chance to hit on the center court, but boys say that it's pretty much the same. You know, there's such a high report and positive report in this tournament that no reason to change anything. That's something you don't see very often. They're feeling the pressure.
Bryan.
So they get the job done eventually. Here are the Bryans, who get themselves on the board. Beautiful feel.
It was that lob that the point started with, what I referred to back in Rome. We weren't expecting as many lobs from Bob as he successfully hit in the Rome match, and obviously that's something that he must have worked on and improved.
Just from your perspective, Max, as an alternate, I presume you have to be here the whole time, right? In case one of these guys suddenly gets sick until the group stages are done.
That's right. The last round-robin match is a Saturday, so up until then, before every doubles match, we have to be ready, set, and go if anybody feels.
It's an excellent lob from Bob. He made the mistake of not following it forward. It fortunately didn't cost him.
Yeah, we saw how close to the net Julien Rojer is, and it's so tough to defend against somebody crossing, being this close to the net.
And particularly against Mike Bryan, one of the better, if not the best returners on the doubles tour. You need to have that sort of variety. You've got to send a message to him that that cross-court return isn't open all day. Otherwise, he'll eat you up.
It's 3 in a row.
So David Marrero suffered a little bit yesterday with a couple of foot faults.
All three intercepts.
Another element I find that Bob has gotten much better over the years is executing on a second serve. And by looking at their warm-up today, I see that he spent a lot of time hitting those forehands, running around, hitting forehands. And we should probably see in this match that pretty soon he'll try to implement that.
It's beautiful. Rojer dominating at the net.
One game.
Yeah, the key is, as you said, Max, very close, moving to the middle, good shoulder turn, and that east-west volley.
The center line. You're crossing the line when you serve. Yes, left, yeah.
Of course, a few different pairs this week, as we've said a couple of times. A few names that perhaps we're familiar with that aren't here, but a couple of different styles, as we've seen with Verdasco and Marrero. Oh, that's stunning. And Lopez and Granollers, and from your point of view, Max, of course, it's different. I guess you have to make the adjustments as well when you're playing a pair like Marrero and Verdasco, who are ripping forehands at you.
Oh, definitely. You know, back in the day when I was starting to play singles and doubles was a sort of a way to just practice, and you knew that you play doubles every way the same way, the same time, the same way in every match. Now, you know, from a team to team, you have to adjust styles tremendously because, as you see, Bryan's play one way, Marrero, Verdasco play completely different, and unless you're thinking and preparing for that type of play, you're probably going to lose the match.
Is that a challenge you enjoy? Do you enjoy those different challenges?
It's become much more challenging, yeah, and fun because you know, now there's much more rallying going on in doubles. Sometimes you see those 3, 4, 5 balls hit cross court. You look to cross. Being aware of where things are on the court. We saw that the lob went through the middle to both backhands of Bob and Mike. Often we make mistake by just going through the motions and thinking there are two righties there, and then one of the lefties smacks an overhead.
Just to your point, Nick, I suppose one benefit of this format is you know the teams you're going to play, and that's not the case the rest of the year. So you can sort of prep for a team like Marrero and Verdasco a little bit better, just knowing that you will have to play them on Friday or Wednesday.
Well, it's got him. Rojer has started really well this evening.
First 2 points.
Signing point. Receivers.
Rojer is at his best when he's aggressively returning, using his feet, taking the ball early. He often, you said it, Max, he has the ability to hit and come forward as well.
Well, if there's any weakness in the Bryan's team, it's probably right here, Mike's second serve. I'm sure the Qureshi and Rojer would love to see a second serve here.
That's a footfall again. Couldn't quite get the return away from the net man, so it's on serve we stay in this first.
Players have already been paired up, so I'll probably look to jump in with some singles player that would like to play doubles.
What you were talking about, Max, Bob running around. That's his better return, the forehand. And that's something Rojer and Qureshi will have to adjust to. They'll have to hit some tee serves to hold Bob.
That was a pretty wide serve, and he was able to run around that, get that forehand.
And of course, Max, you and Mika Yuzhny actually beat the Bryan brothers in Miami when Rory was injured earlier this year.
Yeah, that's where I find perhaps the Bryans are most vulnerable, and their coach maybe doesn't have as much input for them to play on when a new team comes in. Like obviously been studied over the years, but Michael usually in doubles hasn't played much, and we were able to get a few undecisive errors from the Bryans.
Great vision. Right at the death.
Yeah, that's a good point you bring up, Max. The Bryans, they know how to play a team that serves and stays back. Just take a look at this good point. Qureshi and Rojer doing a nice job using some variety, finding space. And then they know how to play a traditional team. But I suppose it's more of a challenge when you're playing one guy like Yuzhny who's serving and staying back, and then somebody like yourself with more traditional skills.
14-15.
And what makes Yuzhny a dangerous player is he's also pretty capable around the net. So he has the ability to serve and stay back, and he can also mix it up and serve volley.
That's impressive. It really is.
It seems like Team White is winning a lot of these points at the net. Normally, Bob and Mike are so good with their second shot, third shot selection, and they're making you hit 2-3 times to win the point. So far, Qureshi, Rojer are up to the challenge.
15 long.
If there's an area to get at the Bryans, Max, if they have any weakness at all, is there a specific area that you try to go at against them?
Well, there are probably a few things. They're not very super quick around the court. They got long reach, and I normally see that you know, they're not great coming forward. That's one thing. Another thing is probably their backhands, particularly on Bob. He doesn't have as much whip and weight on a ball as Mike does. So there are a few things you can look for. Heavy forehand from Bob does the job.
40 long.
It's good serving.
Bryan.
And another love holes from the Bryans, who sit down with the advantage in this first set. They lead. You've played on this court, Max. Give us a feel for just how good it is for the doubles guys to be out there with the amount of people.
This is just an overall wonderful venue. You know, the amount of fans we get for doubles matches is incredible, and the ambiance on the court is second to none. You know, the court is lit up like it is a theatrical stage, and everything is in the background is dark. It's very easy to spot the ball, and it's tough not to play tough tennis. I mean, high class tennis, and it's just very educated fans. They respect the rules of the game, and it's nothing but pleasure to be here.
Flat first service.
And from court level, Max, it's like a strange thing to say, but can you actually see the audience? How much of the audience can you actually see down there?
15.
Well, you're aware of it because it's just such a huge arena, about 18,000 here. But like I said, the lighting effect plays a huge role here because a lot of the times in big stadiums when we play, the background of the people dressed in white and red and green, sometimes tough to spot the ball. Here, that darkness makes it calm and easy to focus on that yellow fuzzy ball.
Which you've done a few times in your career.
Fortunately. Big point. Continues to with that lob off the first serve.
Yeah, it's a difficult shot to read off the forehand. You don't expect it quite as much. Qureshi, Rojer do well, but Mike doesn't really bury that overhead. Qureshi able to capitalise with a big forehand. The Bryans have been through a lot this year, as dominant of a year as they've had. It's been a little emotionally draining on them.
Was trying to get that calendar slam. They were living up ever since they won Wimbledon for those few months. I'm sure it must have been very draining. Here we have another deuce point.
So tight. And Bob's not happy at all.
At the left,
And even if it's called in, they're still going to be upset because they were well in control of this point.
Just
Probably, in truth, justice done there because it was a shanked return.
well, so far both teams responded perfectly to the pressure situations, coming up with good first serves under pressure, and this time again winning the game.
Yeah, it's so important, isn't it, when you play Mike Bryan with his return, hitting second serves to him with Bob Bryan with that forehand volley in the middle of the court. Difficult.
That's a pretty rare occurrence. You see the twins both on the same side of the court and leaving a big chunk of it exposed.
Again, Mike just not doing enough with that overhead. He shanked that one a little bit. And we saw him get in trouble with a few overheads a couple of nights ago, Nick, in the match they lost against Dodig Mello.
Everybody covering the middle of the court better than the Bryans. Probably none of those going to be around. Bryans are doing such a good job of just feeling each other's shoulder and moving together.
And their hands are so quick as well. They practice those reflex volleys every day. Been doing that for a lot of years.
13-15.
So he's serving at a pretty high tack first serve, 70%. Good numbers.
It's more impressive. We see that winning on second serve percentage for the Bryans, it's 71%, whereas Qureshi Rojer only 29.
Just wide.
Bryan.
The Bryans continue to look good behind.
Love 15.
Always difficult to start the game from love 15, particularly towards the end of the set. So much riding on this point right here.
It's got even more difficult now.
Yeah, I know. It's a good move here. That's a pretty dangerous combination there. Mike returning, Bob closing. And I know, Max, you actually mentioned to me a few years ago when we played the Bryans, it's one thing to serve to Bob's backhand, but if you're not able to pick off the ball, then you end up volleying to his forehand a lot of the time. And that's what we saw on the first point.
Right.
So a lot of the teams that have had success against the Bryans, the way to do it is to win the point quickly, pick off that backhand return. Otherwise, Bob's pretty confident hitting forehands. Mike at the net.
That same scenario, time and time again. And now they're in the driving seat to win this game. You're gonna have 4 opportunities. What do you tell a player, Ashley, as a coach in this situation? Love 40.
Well, just take each point one at a time. Don't think about love 40.
Do you go for a big serve, try to get away with a quick one, or you go percentage?
I'll tell you after the point, Max.
I have to work with him all week.
Well, he went big on that second.
Big on that second, exactly. 113.
Valid question, though, isn't it?
15.
What would you go, Max?
Well, you know, my served me so well over the years, and I got to back myself up with the weapon I have. So even though it's love 40, the way I look at it is that if I can just get 2 quick points and get back to 30-40, the pressure is on them all of a sudden. So
yeah, it's horses for courses. I think it depends on your strength and how accustomed you are to getting 3 points.
I just hope that there's no foot fault. Rojer is awfully close, not only to that baseline, but to that middle tee.
Yeah, and that's how Qureshi got called.
He could easily be called with that. Oh.
Oh, what a phenomenal piece of athleticism.
Huge point, and we saw Bob running for that forehand already.
You know, a rare time when the Bryans weren't in sync again. Mike didn't continue crossing after he'd made the initial move.
Good serve. And now, just like I said, all of a sudden, even though they're love 40 down, momentum is with them. They won 3 points in a row, and so much pressure for.
Rojer's gone very wide to hit this first serve. A lot wider than usual.
It's not paid off.
Bryan.
The Bryans do eventually get the break and will serve for the set.
Bryan lead by
What's the thinking behind that?
Well, I suppose he was trying to get an extra angle, but Mike knew it as well. That was the problem. Mike was waiting for a backhand return.
So Bob Bryan it'll be
Yeah.
to serve for the set.
Better win this first point or else be over in 30 seconds.
You sound like you've had experiences at Max. there was a tone in your voice there. That
Yeah, well, you watched him just hardly speak after this point, and then boom, boom. Change events at 6-3. Great hands.
Good job there, sneaking in, taking that backhand early, meeting the ball on the rise.
Can you believe that? Another foot fault called. Must be at least 4 or 5 in this match.
Actually, towards the end of this year.
I'm not sure what that was all about, but clearly trying to lighten the mood, which is probably the best thing to do.
I'm surprised they haven't got a time violation tacked on as well. Bryan's taking 25 seconds feels like 2 minutes because of how quickly they typically play.
Wow. As well.
It's 2 times Bob stays back and in this game that he normally just goes bang, bang.
And Mike, that's a difficult ball to carve. The more natural ball is just to pop it up inside out. Nobody does it better than Max Muni.
That's good defense.
13.
He's got it. Brilliant tennis. And the Bryans are broken. Didn't expect that. It's 5. A few late arrivals just making their way down.
Bob continues to send a message to Rojer, don't be on top of the net.
Yeah, it's a good strategy. It really makes you back off a little bit as a net man when you're getting beaten by a lob. Whereas against Mike, he hasn't seen a lob, so he's getting very close to the net. He's moving, taking middle. Until you've been beaten down the line by a return, you'll continue as a net man to be more aggressive and take middle.
see Julian take a step back.
Well, that time it was the lob did its job as far as beating Rojer, but Bob didn't get a lot of depth on it, which enabled Qureshi the option of really driving that backhand.
Very deep second serve from Qureshi. And that's his normal, pretty much normal second serve.
Yeah. Doesn't have the trajectory on it, does he? It's just pretty flat.
Comes through deep in the box.
Eight of the last 10 points going the way of Qureshi and Rojer, who have fought their way back to this first set. Best partner you ever played with, Max? Who was the best player you ever played with? Played with plenty, of course.
Yeah, I was fortunate to have many partners. Well, it's tough to point out one. You know, I was fortunate to be with Roger in the same court with Roger Federer, Leighton Hewitt, Pat Rafter, Bjorkman, Hewitt. So
Plenty.
yeah.
Of course, you won your first slam with Leighton, didn't you?
That's right, 2000, yeah. So many great champions.
Catches the Jumbotron. Best memory on a court for you? Is there a specific memory you have of,
well, I
or the
would
best
say
feeling, maybe?
that experience with Pat Rafter it was like a tutorial. Even though we only played 1 week together, I remember there was so much respect I had for him, and still do, for his singles game, and the week we spent there in German tournament Halle was not only partnership but also coaching tutorial experience that I got from him. It was wonderful.
Which year was that?
I would say that was maybe 2001, 2, somewhere there. Nicely held. Nice little backswing there with that forehand chip.
It's pretty rare that Bryans get beaten through the middle of the court. Just not quite in sync today. Just talk, Max, about winning the US Open mixed title this year. I know 2013 didn't go quite as well as you liked, but what did it mean to you to get back on the big stage and win a Grand Slam again?
Well, wonderful, wonderful experience. New York has been so great to me over the years, and this year again, I partnered with the Czech female player, Andrea Plavachkova, and
Serving at 5-6, first set. I talked about the record of both players, but this guy, as Ash was saying, is 0-6, 0-7 in fact, isn't he, Qureshi now? I think he's only ever won one set as well in his appearances here. Does that play on your mind at all? When you're 0-7, you've not won a match here in 2 years?
Probably does. At some point you start doubting yourself. But Issam is one of the great characters of our game today, and truly hard worker. Maybe this is the first win for him here in this arena.
15.
Good things happen when you keep that racket in front. We'll see here now on the back inside.
Yeah, he continues to move forward as well.
There we see that.
Again, it's good athleticism shown by the man from Pakistan, and we're into a breaker.
6 games on first set. Tiger.
Pretty even so far, isn't it?
For the Bryans, we'll kick it off.
Last first service.
It seems to me that Qureshi, Rojer have come half the battle. You know, now they're able to perhaps beat the Bryans. They're so close, and would have been different had they lost that edge early.
Bryan.
Oh, it's a brave move, but until Mike goes down the line with this backhand, he's yet to do that. So Qureshi's going to take over the middle of the court. Sorry, Rojer. As you said, Max, good things happen when you just get close to the net, just put your racket out in front. You can use the returner's pace against them.
That's exactly what you were talking about, Max, early doors. One of the things perhaps they've implemented more and more this year.
2-1.
Yes, everybody's so aware that Bob can let it kind of just keep it high above the net, let it sail off the return. And therefore, Bob just found the solution to keep the net man off the net.
Second ace of the day and of the championships for the Twins.
In the meantime, Qureshi, Rojer have brought their percentage winning on second serve up to 50%. So they've had to be feeling more confident if they have to serve second.
4-1. Bryan.
Well, that time he did make the adjustment.
5-1.
Yeah, that looked almost more.
Bryan.
A gift, and you feel that is going to be that as far as the breaker goes. A third double fault of the set from Qureshi and Rojer, and it's 5 set points here. super angle.
6-2. Bryan.
Almost certainly, though, too little, too late.
So Bryan on the ball, at the left service line, the ball is called out.
Well, the call actually will do them a favour because the lob was over Mike's head.
Second set.
Pretty good eyes from the lines person.
That's too good.
Six, 3.
He's hit this forehand well today.
Bryan
Winning down the line through the middle, and when you establish some dominance like that, it forces the net guys to close a little bit out of respect for what you've done.
Big point here. If they could get within just 1 minute breakdown.
He's got it. What a stunning end to the set. And the Twins do get it done eventually.
To 2014, this is the time to get it done.
I've heard some good things about your restaurant.
Yeah,
you're allowed to give it a plug. It's okay. You can give it a plug. Tell us all about it.
Little venture that I got into. It's a pizzeria restaurant next to the IMG Academy in Bradenton. It's called Breakpoint Pizza, and my brother Peter Mirny is looking after it. And you know, hopefully we can make a good thing out of it. You know, we serve the local community, and always happy to see our friends and guests from Bradenton and all over the world visit us.
No, it's gluten-free. Is it gluten-free?
Yeah, well,
it's a fad now. Everyone's gluten-free.
Actually, my brother is a big fan of vegetarian and being vegan, and so we have a few dishes that are vegetarian, but it's a wood oven pizza. It's a unique pizza, very thin crust, and nice. I love it.
And anybody that knows me knows that I'm a pizza connoisseur, and I can say that Breakpoint has very good pizza. I've eaten there. I live 20 minutes away.
Thanks, guys.
So when we come to Miami, we'll have a table for 25. Is that okay?
That's fine. Delivery's on me.
Go service.
Good game.
Control.
One lover. So
The end of the year tournament is played alongside the singles tournament. Is the best promotion we could ever get. You know, the thousands of people come watch the singles, but also get to see the best doubles players, and that's certainly a move in the right direction.
I know when they changed the scoring system to a match tiebreak, I remember that. Well, you remember it very well, of course, and there was a lot of opposition to it, wasn't there? But from your perspective, it's worked well?
Well, now we could definitely predict the time of the match much more than we used to before, and also the... A little practice session here. Come on, that's 5. Come on, back to him again. Oh, what a point.
Great stuff. And they interrupted your point. Carry on.
Well, there have been a few other changes. Also, this ranking system that now allows singles players use their singles ranking for entry into the doubles tournament. Have brought in these new stars that we see, Van Dodijk and now Verdasco. Another singles player that didn't make it to the finals is Vaseline from France. More and more singles players are taking on opportunity to play doubles any day, any tournament they want to. Which certainly helps promote doubles. We see a lot of the superstars of our game, Roger and Nadal and Novak playing. Murray's doing well anytime he wants to play. Seems like gets to the finals of the event. A little different. We see a little bit of drilling here. That's what we normally see in a women's doubles sometimes.
Bryan's, for me, they're just not quite as energized as we're typically accustomed to seeing them. And even that chest bump that we saw, it looked like a little bit of a tired chest bump. Like at the elevation on it.
It's been a long year, I'm sure, and all they want to get through is just get across the finish line in this match.
Yeah, played 3 weeks in a row as well, of course. Final in Valencia, wasn't it? 1 Paris and now straight here, so 3 straight weeks.
Well, heads up to Qureshi Rojer after going a set down there. That seemed like they got the most positive body language, very energetic, and now looking for their first break point of the second set.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing when the Bryans play, they're always a scalp that everybody wants. Every team gets up to play them because it's a chance to beat arguably the greatest of all time. So it's a real tribute to the Bryans how well they compete, knowing that they have to sort of match intensity coming at them every day.
It's good. Wow. And it's a break. 2-love.
And that's the sort of ball that you just would never see get by Bob Bryan's forehand volley. He's usually just waiting to pounce on this ball. It's this ball here. Bob's right there waiting for it. It just goes over his racket.
Yeah.
And they really stand out, these sort of errors, just because it's like seeing Halley's Comet.
But again, we see that point started with the lob. Seems like lobbing has been the theme of the match. And another lob.
What a good run. Won 11 of the last 15 points of this pair.
And that's what I expected Rojer to do the last time he was down a break point, when he went way out wide, because he tricked Mike Bryan then. When you go out wide, it looks like you're going to hit the big kick angle serve. So there's an opportunity to go tee. Does the fact, Max, that Rojer and Qureshi are splitting up, what sort of dynamic does that add? Does that help them just to relax and play a little bit looser?
Perhaps. You know, we've seen over the years with the partnerships of Knowles, Nestor, when they're winning the French right before they announce that they're going to split. But generally speaking, I think that sort of
Very close. Very
takes
close.
off the pressure of the team, knowing that they're not playing together anymore. Just kind of proving to each other yet again that, you know, we're here for a reason.
I suppose Bupati and Bopana last year also did the same thing. They were splitting up. And
That's right.
Played well here.
So nothing going the Bryan's way right now.
Why? When you asked, I told you it's very close. I don't want to ask.
Bryan's not happy here. Something getting under their skin. And that will not please them either, because it's been a really good start.
Let's see if they can keep running away with this set. A little bit aggravated serving from Mike Bryan there. Athletic from Bob getting it to a high ball.
Just not quite as razor sharp as we're accustomed to seeing. Do you genuinely think there's some fatigue in there, Ash?
Oh, yeah.
Guys?
Yeah, no question from my mind. It's been an emotionally draining year for them. They've been through so much. And most of the other teams are pretty fresh and excited to play here. I'm not saying the Bryans aren't, but perhaps not as much as the other 7 teams. Especially when you look at the fact that there's a lot of new teams as well. You can't help but be fresh and excited if it's your debut here. Whereas the Bryans have they've achieved so much this year.
Deciding point. Receiver.
Don't count them out just yet, boys.
It's a deciding point yet again here. It's gone wide as well. This set is going to be very difficult to recover now.
Well, credit to Qureshi, Rojer. We see that Julian taking the return early, following it into the net. And that other instance, Qureshi at the net. Mike went at him twice, and he kept moving forward. So they're taking it up to them. Good tennis.
15 long.
Nice to see the boys enjoying it. Not often you're going to get a 4-love lead in the Bryans. Picked himself there.
In terms of younger players, Max, that you've seen, or doubles players, specific younger players this year, or you've played against or practiced against, you think that could make a mark a couple of years' time?
Well, certainly big impression on the tennis world, Canadian-made Vasek Pospisil, who not only breakthrough in singles, but had good couple matches at the US Open. Him and Nestor should have probably beaten the Bryans on that center court there.
Yeah, setting a break up.
Had a great addition to the Canadian Davis Cup team. Besides him, is probably the next one that comes to mind is Dodig. You know, made a big impression on the doubles world by getting to the finals of Wimbledon, being probably the anchor of that team.
Yeah, Pospisil playing with Julian Knoll for the first, or certainly for the first couple of months, as I understand it, next year. As it caught the line, the Bryans will check. I think they'll challenge. They seem sort of almost resigned to their fate a little bit here. And they won't challenge, will they? Or will they? Still an ongoing discussion. Don't think they are. They're not.
Here.
I wonder when the last time the Bryans lost a set 6-love was.
I think Kubot Marak might have gotten them a 6-love set a few years ago.
I think Fleming and Hutchins beat them in a 6-love set at the Aussie Open as well in 2012. I'm sure they did. Second set, if I'm correct in saying.
Ain't happening here, boys. And we're on the board. Probably important also going into the match tiebreak to establish some sort of momentum and things you might want to do in the super tiebreaker. Just kind of try out in this last game or two of the set.
And if you're Qureshi Rojer, I suppose, Max, you're just looking to do the same sort of thing. Just be aware of the lob off from Bob Bryan and keep sort of being aggressive on Mike and taking middle.
Well, exactly. At some point, maybe if I'm Rojer, you know, I want to send a message and let Bob know I'm waiting and I'm going to punish you if I see another lob.
Probably not the worst idea either for Rojer if he gets up in this game, which it looks like he may not now, but to hit a tee serve on the second to Bob, just to sort of get used to hitting that serve in case Bob runs around a couple of times in the match tiebreak.
Good idea. It's not putting it away.
15 on.
Finishes it off.
Yeah, it's just subtle differences. Bob just not quite as athletic. You can see the forehand volleys just having to stretch a little bit, just not continuing moving to his left. And again, when the Bryans lose these points, like we just saw, it really stands out just because it's so rare that you see them make these sort of errors or not win the points when they're poaching like this. This is a pattern that they really have down well. Bob hitting the forehand, Mike moving to the middle. Credit to Qureshi, Rojer. Their reflexes have been very sharp today.
Ball 250.
Yeah, one thing I remember Pat after would tell me, you know, you volley with your legs, and we all remember the big thighs that Pat had underneath every volley of his. And this is what Julian did well. His first volley, just really attacked the volley with his legs. Still not sending the message. The lob works.
So there it is. It'll be yet another match tiebreak here this week.
The best team in the world. I believe they'll be the most solid under these pressure conditions, and lefty-righty is going to come through.
We shall see.
There we see a little spark in their legs. We call it the Bryan's dance, and they normally are so dominating with just appearance, with the body language. No matter whether they win or lose, they're always there. We see it's a good adjustment from previous set. We see both of them bouncing, and that's a direct indication of them being ready. I like my odds.
Yeah, we talk about the Bryans and the way they project confidence a lot, and in an ideal world, you want to be able to walk by a team or an individual and not be able to tell the score based on their body language. And nobody does it better than the Bryans. They always project confidence. I mean, of course, it helps the fact that most of the time they are winning, but even when they're down, they still look very positive and they look confident.
Oh. Huge slice of luck. Didn't really seem to hit the smash that hard either, did he?
Now it's a bit awkward moving to your left. It's very easy to miss time. It's I think he was just more cautious there to just get the ball in the court. Great footwork by Mike there. Rojer are just really sending questions every time. Bob and Mike need to answer the questions. Good return again down the line, making them hit 2, 3, 4 volleys before the lob.
Yeah, they're getting points started, which is often a real challenge when you play the Bryan brothers. Just winning points and getting returns in play, getting it away from the net man.
That's a bad judgment, going to his forehand overhead.
3-2, Bryan.
Yeah, and Bob was on it. You could see him moving back before Qureshi's even started hitting the lob. It's often a better idea to hit it after you've established one forehand, and the net man is closing even harder.
Bryan.
So they got a bit of luck, didn't they, with the net cord early doors in the breaker, and they've just thrown that away.
Low on energy. I know how it looks and feels.
Well, the Bronze are just doing just enough. They're making the return. Mike's closing. And they're up 5-2. Gotta like their chances now. They're continuing with their bouncing.
Got it.
Bryan.
It was good defense from Qureshi, Rojer. They extended the point. Well, just not good enough, but sort of hustle pays off, particularly in these sort of situations.
Tough return out of the body. Bob was not able to handle.
6-3. Bryan.
It's a big point. They're able to keep themselves just under 1 minute break. It's still possible.
Wow. And that return from Mike Bryan was ridiculous. Qureshi, Rojer did well.
6-4. Bryan.
Because
They tented it with the first volley. Bob on his
somehow,
backhand.
somehow Qureshi ended up at the back of the court.
So keeping it close. Qureshi and Rojer. This is a big point, though, you feel.
Well, trying to come up with an ace.
Bryan.
Yeah, just their second ace as a team of this match.
Fantastic body serve from Mike Bryan. Completely handcuffed Rojer. He did well just getting the ball in play.
Good close by Bob.
Yeah, that ball could have gotten awkward.
But there we see experience. Mike comes up with 2 solid first serves, body serve to Rojer, and now strong tee serve to Qureshi. Not much he can do.
He likes that volley, Rojer, as well. He should. Really used his feet well, got in quickly. Not a lot of swing. As you said, Max, Pat Rafter just deriving power from his legs, from that forward momentum. Got the ball back very quickly and deep on Mike Bryan.
Well, they are doing a good job, aren't they? Keeping it tight.
Great reply.
That's courageous as well, just backing himself, Rojer, going to Bob Bryan's strength, but putting his strength against Bob Bryan's strength and coming out on top.
Well, it's in the racket of Bob Bryan right now. 1 point at a time. He could finish it off right here.
Oh! How good's that? And does he love it or what?
And when Qureshi Rojer beat the Bryans in Madrid in 2012, they staved off a number of match points with the Bryan serving with that shot right there. Rojer hit a couple of return winners up the line that day.
Great to see that energy at this point of the match.
They will need it more than ever right now. Composure required here, because it is match point.
You just got to have the same sort of conviction, the same sort of courage if you're Rojer. Be active, take over the middle of the court, make Mike Bryan come up with something special if he's to win.
Well, the Bryans are going to challenge this.
Qureshi looks very confident. He's already thrown a fit.
Can you believe that?
What a cover by the Bryans.
That is just theft.
Superb. And the Bryans may have been a bit subdued today at times, but they have produced some real quality there. It'll be Mike Bryan to try and seal the deal.
It's been serving so well under pressure. Let's see this match point. Brings another good first serve.
He is extremely fired up, and you can understand it. He's shown such positive body language today as Rojer refused to be beaten down. .20 points split right down the middle in this match tiebreak.
Was wide. It was a short second serve, not hit with a lot of velocity. Qureshi can't believe it.
It's a good eye on from
11-10, Bryan.
Fine margins on both sides of the coin, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what this sport's all about.
Not much separates these two teams today. Another pressure moment Can Qureshi, Rojer come up with the goods again?
Feeding off his camp as well, Rojer. Every time he wins a point, he looks across to his camp and eyes them up. He gets.
Thank you.
Match point for Qureshi and Rojer.
Those are the moments they'll probably look back and remember those 2-second serves. They were certainly makeable.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as aggressive as a swing.
Raw emotions as well.
I suppose that's what's so exciting about this scoring format, that every point means so much. And
Bryan.
Head down for the twins. Not a lot of communication again, is there, between them, as they look to try and finally finish this one off.
Well, they don't really need it, though, either. They're so patterned and they're so sort of in sync with their movements, typically.
we remember Qureshi didn't double fold, but was close to it. Last match point, he had to serve. Perhaps want to take some pace off and give himself a chance with the first serve.
First service.
1 hour and 39 minutes, the longest doubles match of the week so far. He's done it. Bob and Mike Bryan keep themselves in the chase for the semi-finals. And in doing so, they eliminate Qureshi and they win it 14-12 in the match tiebreak.